There's a 3-letter word that could solve 90% of your communication problems. And that 3-letter word is ask. A-S-K. But the problem is, we don't ask because we want to be nice. Some of us in this room are nice people. Some of us in this room say, you know, I'm not going to rock the boat. I'm a nice person. Anybody like that in this room? Raise your hand. Go ahead. I won't pick on you, but yeah. Oh, they're like, I'm nice. I'm not going to really raise my hand either. Like, they're hooked. So you're nice. So let me share a little bit about you being nice. Who is that? Oh, you were nice. Can I play? Give me permission. I'll be nice. Maybe. Okay. So tell me your name.
Barb.
Barb, and Barb, remind me that you get a book at the end for playing nice. Okay, so Barb and I work together, right? Aren't you lucky?
Yeah.
And I do something. And you know how you get that little twinge in your gut? You go, I wonder what she meant by that. So she gets that little twinge in her gut, and she goes, oh, I'm not going to say anything because I'm a nice person, right? Does that sound familiar? Yeah. Okay, so here's Barb. Okay, so then something else happens. That day, maybe another day, and she gets a little bigger twinge in her gut, and she goes, I'm not going to say anything though because I'm a nice person. And then something else happens, and this time it's kind of more of a punch in the gut, and she goes, I'm a nice person, not going to say anything. Thank goodness I don't smoke. And there she is. She's walking around the office being nice. Nice. And then I come up to her, oblivious, and I say, Barb. And I ask her something that's neutral. But by this time, there's nothing neutral. And Barb goes, and I'm sorry if anybody gets hit with spit. Oh, she goes, I win the balloon. So sorry. So now, she blows up. And I'm standing there going, what happened? That happens, doesn't it? See, nice isn't keeping it in and being nice. And I hope you get over this nice thing. Nice would be the first time she had that little twinge in the gut, she said, hey, Judy K., can we talk? Not quite sure what you meant by that. Because I'll guarantee you that her assumptions were much more negative than what was real. And I might not have had the foggiest idea that I was stepping on her toes or had done something that made her feel uncomfortable. But instead, she let it build. And by the time she blew up, she no longer wants to work with me. She doesn't want to have anything to do with me. And she never gave me the chance to even explain. But that happens all the time. And a lot of times it's not just nice. Nice is, when you're talking about it, a lot of times it's because of the elephants. Some of you have invisible elephants in your office. Some of you have a whole darn herd, don't you? The success of your communication and your practice depends on the identification and the elimination of these invisible elephants in your office. The elephants that I'm talking about are what's not working, or could be better or improved. And everybody knows they exist, but nobody will talk about them. And as a result, everybody starts walking on eggshells. And you're tiptoeing around. The eggshells are the emotional response or fallout that you fear may happen if you actually do talk about these elephants. So here you have people in your office, and they're like tiptoeing around these eggshells and trying to squeeze in between the elephants, right? Some of you, it's like, oh, we don't talk about this, or we don't say this. When I come into offices to observe, I say, well, how is everything? Oh, everything's fine. Fine is an acronym, fear of intense negative emotion. That's what it is. I told you I was an addict. Seriously, there are so many elephants sometimes roaming, and no one says anything. And this fear of eggshells is what I refer to as the eggshell fear factor. And it's what stops us. There are actually 3 predominant eggshells that I run into consistently. The first one is the fear of hurt feelings. We worry so much because we're nice. We don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. But here's the scoop. If it affects the patients and the practice, you have to talk about it. But we don't because we want to be nice. But it holds our practice back. If it affects the patients and the practice, the performance of it, we have to talk about it. If it's personal, leave it out. You don't have to love the people you work with. You don't even have to like them. Seriously, you don't. You just have to respect them. And here's the funny thing. When you start to respect them, like comes after that. And sometimes even love. But hurt feelings, we worry. We don't say anything. We don't want to hurt their feelings. We have to be professionals. We have to talk about the things that stop us from growing. The second eggshell is the fear of criticism or judgment. We worry that if we say something, they're going to just come back and criticize us. So we're not going to say anything. Fear of judgment and criticism actually stops a lot of us from trying to grow and be better, from trying to take on something new. A year ago, I was invited to become the president of NSA, which is National Speakers Association, Minnesota chapter. I will tell you, when they asked me, I said, "Are you kidding me?" I work with people in this chapter who have been speaking for 40 years, and they don't coach, they strictly speak. They're probably speaking 200 times, 150 times a year sometimes. It's just unbelievable. They're masters. I'm thinking, how could I possibly be the president of these people? They know so much more. I'm a newbie compared to them. And what if I don't do a good job? What if I fail? They could even impeach me. And I got scared. And then I got excited and I thought, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm not going to worry about whether they criticize or judge me. And they didn't. They were supportive. I learned a lot. I hand my gavel over in a couple weeks. And I'm actually sad to give it away. It's been a phenomenal year. So I would tell you that sometimes that fear of judgment and criticism stops you from wanting to do something new in your practice that would be exciting because you're afraid that you might not do it well. Sometimes fear of judgment and criticism stops dentists from bringing new things back to the practice because they want to do it so well right from the beginning. You have that perfectionist personality. Push yourself. It helps to create a more positive. It's exciting to grow and learn, even if it's scary. That gut test, if it's scary, but it's a heck yes, do it. It's worth it. It really is. The third eggshell is the fear of retaliation. That no matter, if something's not going well, why would we possibly address it with another team member? Because it probably is going to only get worse, right? We worry about that. And sometimes we worry about sometimes we worry doctor or manager for fear that it's going to come back and haunt us. So fear of retaliation. One of the best ways to get rid of these eggshells is to have a team meeting. I believe in team meetings. Have a team meeting and talk about what are the eggshells that people fear in the practice. Get it out in the open. It's amazing how when you start to talk about things, the power from it disappears. I think the most interesting fact about the eggshells is that teams always think that doctors and managers are really comfortable in their leadership. They're not. It's not comfortable. It's scary. They don't want to make some of the decisions that they have to make. They don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. They're worried about being judged and criticized. And so what happens is when the doctor and the manager, or doctors and managers share what their concerns are, it starts to create clarity for everybody that, hey, everybody has these fears. But regardless of the fears, we still have to approach it. We still have to be able to talk about it in a respectful way, and we're going to get into that. The funny thing about fear, and because it's the driving force behind each of these eggshells, is that fear isn't a reality. It's only a negative prediction of the future. That's it. And whether or not we take action is governed by a simple ratio, our perception of danger versus our confidence in the ability to handle the situation. See, if we believe that we can handle any situation that comes our way, the fear we feel is minimized, and we're going to be able to take action. So it's really important that we teach the entire team how to communicate with each other in a respectful manner, to be able to talk about things that are difficult so that the entire practice can grow and move forward. Because pretty soon, if you don't know how to communicate or you're not comfortable communicating, everything is off the table and you have that herd of elephants in your office.